Right, today I'm going to sort out and try and finish these castings and the tops. In the aluminium castings, this hole needs to be a 3/4 hole. That'll be the diameter of the bearings, and the bearings will have a flange on which will fit over there to stop them moving in and out. And then the tops, they've got to be cleaned up, drilled, then we'll put it on here and tap them in, and then we'll put the cutter through again to make the hole round, and that will hold the top part of the bearing in place. So let's get that fixed onto the milling machine. Right, so I've zeroed up this slot. Now I've got to cut the 3/4 cutter in there and then move it over 2 inches 105 to the center of that one. So let's carry on with this one. Right, that's the first one done. Right, so on the drawing, the centre of that one to the centre of that one is 2 inches and 105. So I've just got to move that over now. Right, that's the other side done.
This is the sound of winning with Megaways at William Hill.
Good. Right, I'll just do the other side. Right, that's both the 3/4 cuts done in there. The next thing, what we have to do on the drawing, let's get a pencil. I've got to cut a 1/16 down there by 3/8 deep each side of each pocket. And then when that's done, these will be machined up to fit inside to help locate. That way you've got a bit of meat on the top bearing to hold the phosphor bronze bearings in there. Right, so I'm going to put this in the vise now on the milling machine upright as it is. Machine nose cuts in both castings. Right, I'm just about to cut one side off. It's only a 1/16 of an inch. Slowly. And 3/8 of an inch deep. One side done. I'll just set up the other side. Right, that's that side done. Now I'll just carry on and do these two. Right, that's both sides of this casting done. I'll just do the other casting. Right, that's the second casting machined. Right, the next thing we got to do is machine these to fit into where I've just cut out first. So they'll go down in there, they'll clamp the split bearings in place later on. So I'll just file these up a little bit and then I'll put them in the vise on the milling machine. Right, the first thing I've got to do is take the thickness down. So I'm taking a 1/16 of an inch off each side to make it to 5/8 of an inch. That'll be the same width as the aluminium casting. That's one side, I'll just do the other side. As you can see, that's one taken down to width. Lovely, I'll just do the other three. Right, so that's the top parts machined to the right thickness. Now I have to put them back in the milling machine. What I'll do is I'll skim the tops here flat, this top here flat, and then I shall machine down the side square so it's the same width as these. And that should drop in to there. Right, I've skimmed the top off. So now I've got to take a little bit off each side there, and I've done the math and it's 73 thou off of this way. So from the top as well, it's got to be 3/8 of an inch to that flange. So I'll do that in one sweep. That bit off. Right, that's one side done. Just do the other side. Right, that's one bearing cut to size. I'll take that out and offer it into the aluminium casting. Right, so that should fit in there. Look at that, that's lovely. So then what I'll do when I've done the other three, I'll mount, we have to then drill and tap the top, and once that's fitted in, I'll mount this whole lot into the milling machine and bore that hole through. So that is a round 3/4 hole. Lovely. Right, now I've got these machined to size here. I just have to skin the top off so that that flange bit there is the right thickness. That's the next job. Just skimming the tops. Right, that's one done. I'll do the other three and then we'll see what we got. Right, now these are all machined to fit. The next job will be to mark out the fixing holes in here. There'll be an oiling hole there, and then we can get that on there, drill it and tap these castings here, and then it'll be bore these out. So I'm just drilling the holes in the top. There'll be the oil hole. Right. Just drilling the tapping size hole for 3BA through the casting. Right, so that's this casting ready for tapping in both places. So that's what I'll do next, and then I'll drill through the other top parts in the other cast. Right, these are all drilled and tapped now. I'll have to wait for some bolts to go in there, but what I'll do is I'll use some super glue to glue them in, and then I'll clamp them in the vise on the milling machine to bore these out. That's the next job. And when they're bored out, I'll have to strip this lot down to get these bolted on and drilled through from the other side. Right, I've just used a couple of little drops of super glue to stick the tops in the aluminium castings. Now I'm going to set them into the vise on the milling machine level, and then I'm going to bore out the 3/4 hole in there with the 3/4 milling cutter. Just slowly boring through with a 3/4 inch cutter. Right, that's one side done. Perfect. Now I'll move it over 2 inches and 100 bow to do that one. Right, that's the second side done. Perfect. What I'll do now is I'll just do the other casting and tops. The last one. That's all 4 holes bored through for the bearings. Right, now we have all these holes bored out, I can strip this down, get these fixed onto the horn plates. But what I'm going to do, I'll do that off camera, is I'm going to make a center bar to go in there with a center marked in it, and a center with the bar to go in there with a center marked in it. And what that's for is I know these 2 centers are correct, but to make sure the gears mesh properly between the second shaft and the third shaft, the centers between these 2 have to be correct. I have checked and they're near on right, but to get it perfect, that's what I should do. And that'll be done before I drill any holes. Right, so I've used this center here, and I've got 3.5 inch centers, so that's correct. So I'll put another clamp on here, then I'll take this side off, get some bolts in there, and that'll be a fixed position then. And I'll do the other side. Right, that's one casting fixed in place, drilled through. I'll just do the other side. Right, that's the castings done for the first and second shafts. And then I've drilled all the way through as well. That'll be ready for bolting together. Good, it's a lot of work in such little pieces. Please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything. And join me as I build a 2 inch scale Fowler Showman's traction engine.